Alright, Scream Factory comes back to complete the Chucky series. Does it live up to the fantastic previous releases of Child's Play 1 to 3, or does it fail and misstep along the way? Let's talk about it. This is my 4K Ultra HD review of Bride of Chucky. What is up, everybody? Yes, today we're going to be talking about Bride of Chucky from Scream Factory. If you saw my first review of Child's Play 1, I absolutely loved it. It was in, I think, my top 10 4Ks from that year. That the whole lineup of those Scream Factory 4Ks from 80s and 90s horror films, that Candyman, Child's Play 1 to 3, those 4Ks looked absolutely fantastic. One, because they're expertly crafted films, and two, the transfers and the 4K restorations were fantastic. So does this live up to the hype? Is this worth the upgrade? First off, I'm going to say it is. Starting off with the tech specs, what does this come with? It is a 2-disc UHD combo pack. You get the 100GB triple layer disc, a 50GB dual layer disc on the Blu-ray. Unfortunately, this is region A, but again, the 4K is region free. But if you want those bonus features, I'm sad that, you know, people in the UK, if you don't already have the other set, you won't be getting much out of this collector's edition. Again, this is a 4K Ultra HD presentation with Dolby Vision HDR, HDR10. This is an 89-minute long movie. This is in 1.85 by 1 aspect ratio. The audio format is English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1, no Dolby Atmos, but it does come with a 2.0 stereo track, so if you're interested in that. So to get things started, this new 4K release from Scream Factory does feature a brand new remaster of the original 35mm camera negatives, and it shows details are on full display as this 4K presentation is obsidian blade levels sharp. And if you don't know, obsidian blades are the sharpest blades in the world. I googled it. Check Google. Close-ups are fan-freaking-tastic, especially with Chucky and his stitches. You can really see like inside the cuts, like because he's cut up, so you can really see inside the cuts. You can see the little stitch work on it. It looks fantastic. Strands of hair, stitch and patchwork on clothing, and especially those distinct clothing stitches. As you can see, I have my Child's Play sweater on. You know, you can see like the stitch and patchwork on these on the different colors and that kind of stuff. It really shows. You know, it's fully discernible. Facial imperfections such as pockmarks and wrinkles are all there. Edge detail is extremely sharp. As the prior Blu-ray release, it actually kind of looked quite dull and soft. So thankfully this 4K presentation does fix that. And as the film progresses and Chucky's overalls and sweater becomes more battle damaged and worn, you can really tell, you know, things from the frayed clothing, the frayed cloth, dirt, grime. As you can see on this sweater, there's like a few holes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Background details are three-dimensional, individual droplets of water when it rains, and it's pretty discernible. And the overall 4K detail when it comes to textures on screen are A1. And not even just from close-up details, as you know, obviously that's kind of low-hanging fruit, but details are quite sharp and legible even in wide and further back shots. Even the classic homage camera, like you know, like if you ever watch like an old Hitchcock film and it's obviously you know, two people shot the same way, but when it's presented in the film, it's like the different perspectives. That's featured quite a bit in this film, and it doesn't look dated, it doesn't look outdated, it doesn't look bad, because sometimes when you have, even though this is from 1998, early CGI, that kind of stuff, or it doesn't really date itself, and it still looks, each individual shot looks really, really good. So the altering perspectives that can in other films degrade over time, again, still look fresh, and they really work here. gore and fantastic, even though I can't really show much here because I will probably get age gated. Looks fantastic. Makeup and effects look outstanding, really showcasing the hard work that the effects team did. When it comes to the grain structure, the grain is prevalent, but being that this movie is being presented in 4K on a 100 gigabyte triple layer disc, compression is not really an issue, and the grain haters can rest at ease knowing that there aren't scenes where it gets really obtrusive and distorts the image as other 4Ks I've seen. Even around in the mid to late 90s, you can see sometimes grain can have these almost their own thing, like where it can have different colors and it looks red and it looks terrible. Here it looks very organic, it looks very good. I will say my biggest gripe with this transfer was that there were a lot of instances of dirt and debris that wasn't cleaned up when remastering this film in 4K. Now I know Scream/Shout Factory have an act for this. They've done this in quite a few of their 4K transfers, going in, they don't really go in with a fine-tooth comb and really remastering an image like Criterion or Kino Lorber will do, but it doesn't really ruin the overall experience. But as a pixel peeping asshole, I was a bit surprised to see just how often dust and dirt would show up on the screen. But again, the average consumer or just an average, a big fan of the beloved franchise who are dead set on picking up this 4K won't really mind it too much. I will say that this is in fact the way to watch this film from now on, and it is the best it has ever looked from the home theater market, blowing the previous releases out of the water, and that is in thanks to the beautiful Dolby Vision passover. As being as dark as this film is, the Dolby Vision inclusion really brings out a ton of detail. Everything stated previously is still on full display, never feeling like I'm missing out on detail just because it's dark. I am so happy that we live in a day and age where darkness is no longer a hindrance on being able to see what the hell is going on in a scene. You guys remember watching like a DVD or like a VHS and there's like a dark scene? You can't see like what the hell is going on. I remember like the opening of Halloween when they go to the hospital. You can't see shit. But thankfully with Dolby, even though that's DVD and even Blu-ray instances, I've noticed that too. Thankfully with 4K, with Dolby Vision, that is no longer an issue. And I will say, obviously, while clarity is there, it goes above and beyond as black levels are inky as ever, and they don't crush detail. In fact, they bring out even more detail. And like the first 3 Child's Play 4K releases, the Dolby Vision perfects the contrast and brightness, as the standard Blu-ray releases felt overly dark and quite dull in my opinion. Facial complexions are healthy, and even on the puppets, with the different blushes on Tiffany or on Chucky, you can see how it's just not red and then just the kind of pale I guess peach tones. It really kind of gradiates from a kind of, I guess, rosy red, and then it translates and transitions into a gradient of the peach tone. So it looks really cool. But I will say that skin complexions can look a bit too red. Some people do look a bit sunburnt in certain areas, but they don't look too lobstery, if you know what I'm saying. Primaries look fantastic, and the color palette changes throughout the film, having, a cold steel primary at certain points to a warmer tone, and both succeeding in conveying their intended visual appeal. I will say though that it doesn't really impact a lot of the other primaries. So while there will be a shot, let's say at night, a lot of blue overtones, you'll still see a healthy red facial complexion within different characters. It doesn't really overblow it like Heat did. If you watched Heat, there's a very steel cold blue overtone to it, but it kind of ruins a lot of the facial complexions and a lot of maybe the street signs or red lights. It didn't look as good. Here, thankfully, it's able to kind of like in the way that the Matrix did with its green overtones. Here with the blue overtones, you're still able to see a lot of the primaries pop through, even though it has an obviously overly blue overtone. But things look fantastic. There's a scene featuring red silk sheets that looked fantastic. White uniformity is great, from the main girl's sweater to Tiffany's dress. Even when it's dirty and full of smut, you can really see the white peek through. Now let's get into the audio. The 5.1 surround is really nothing to sneeze at, laugh at. Sneeze at? Is it sneeze? I don't know. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is it's still a decently impressive audio track, as when the resurrection ceremony occurs and the claps of thunder and the lightning and the rain pitter-patters on the roof, they were quite robust and had great use of channels. It never felt tinny or front heavy, and from what I can hear comparing to the previous Blu-ray releases, the audio is very much improved. Well-defined mid-range with excellent background activity. Audio is balanced great as the dialogue is clear, the sound effects sit well in the mix, including the fantastic score. Overall, it has an impressive 5.1 that doesn't disappoint and make me wish, I wish we got an Atmos. I never had that feeling whatsoever. But I will say this is probably the most disappointing aspect of the 4K presentation and this 4K release is the bonus features. This section will probably be, again, my lowest, as the bonus features are pretty anemic. I have a list of all of the bonus features here. We have, number one, an audio commentary from director Ronnie Yu, and then we have another audio commentary from Don Mancini with Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly. So obviously, if you're really into audio commentaries, I really wish we would have got Ronnie Yu and Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly together, but unfortunately, they're separated. And with I guess you have the writer, so the writer's pretty good too. So, but then you got the making of bonus featurette, which is in standard def, and it's only like 11 minutes long. Then you got a spotlight on location, which is 10 minutes long, and additional like scenes and deleted scenes, which is also again in standard definition in 3 minutes, and that's from the television version. And then trailers, if you're really into that, is like 2 minutes long. So overall, you're getting what, 25 minutes of bonus features. So nothing new and innovative that really warrants this being called a collector's edition. I guess maybe for the slipcover, and maybe getting a 4K would warrant it to be called a collector's edition. But it doesn't feel like you get all the bells and whistles. Obviously, you do get a fantastic 4K image. You get a really good audio transfer. And if that's all you want, then there you go. But again, for me, I really like the full experience, especially if it's being called a collector's edition. I feel like that would make you want to warrant that being the definitive edition, maybe, or that being the holy thing that you like. Screw all these DVD releases and these Blu-ray releases. This is the collector's edition that you need to get. Doesn't really feel like that when all things considered, especially with the lacking in bonus features. But as a horror fan and a 4K fan, I will say Scream Factory did a pretty darn tootin' job here. Only gripes being that the image isn't as clean as it could be, and the audio is, it's still good. It's just, it doesn't blow me away. And then the bonus features again. So I'm not gonna give a number rating. I will probably give this maybe an A-, just because it could have been an A or an A+. It's just it didn't give me all of the things that I was really craving for, especially for, previous Scream Factory releases did come with a bunch of boatload of bonus features. I don't know why it didn't really come with that many in this package. So if you're a huge fan of this, obviously you're going to get the really great looking visuals and audio, but it's not really a full kind of definitive thing. If you had that, I believe, Blu-ray, I'm pretty sure that comes with more, and then other releases have come with more bonus features that could be up to whatever reasons, maybe because there's music featured or certain interviews aren't licensed properly. But anyways, that was my review. I would give this about an A-, about an 8 out of 10. It's a pretty good, really good looking 4K, and I would say for fans of this film, definitely worth a pickup. So, but I will say the movie is not for everyone. It's definitely the lesser in the franchise, in my opinion. I still love those first 3 movies, but these last 3 movies veer off into an area which I'm not the biggest fan of. So yeah, those are my opinions. Let me know down below, did you guys pick up Bride of Chucky on 4K Blu-ray? Let me know down below if you got that really cool collector's version where it comes with the alternate artwork and a poster. That looked really cool. The other version, the other slipcover that came, if you pre-ordered it with the whole set, looked really cool. but I'm not the biggest fan of these last 3 films to warrant those, so I didn't end up picking up those. So that was my video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. Next, we'll be talking about Seed of Chucky, so stay tuned for that, because I have a lot to say on it. Anyways, thank you so much. I've been Mitch from the Mockbuster YouTube channel. Please have yourself a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning. Whenever you're watching this, please stay safe and God bless. Peace, cheers, long live physical media. See you guys.